Do you ever find yourself just standing there in front of the fridge wondering, am I actually hungry or am I just craving something right now? And it becomes confusing and you don't know the difference. This is one of the biggest reasons why people have a hard time trusting themselves with their food choices that they make because they don't know how to decipher those signals. Those signals are really important. They both mean that your body needs something, but they have completely different needs. And so if you get those signals confused, you might end up losing control or grabbing a food impulsively, and it's not actually hitting the spot of what you're really needing. So today, I want to help you decode those different signals so you can rebuild trust with, oh, this is what my body is telling me that it actually needs, how to listen and feel the difference. This completely changed my life because when I didn't know that my body was sending me different signals, I had to rely on calorie counting because I couldn't tell, do I actually need food right now or am I just craving something? Is this snack right now okay? Am I allowed to have it? Does it fit within what my body needs? I just could not tell the difference. It wasn't until I learned how to feel the different sensations in my body that I could understand, oh, my body needs food right now, or no, my body doesn't need food, it needs something else. Decoding these signals is how I learned how to build trust with my body and the food choices that I was making. And what's crazy is that nobody teaches us how to trust these signals. Hunger, cravings, they're a natural part of our body. They are our body communicating to you that you need something. And the craziest thing is when I went to school to be a dietitian, nobody taught me to listen to these signals. They just said, count calories. And so I did. And so this is not against calorie counting. If that, I understand if you can't trust your body yet, you might need to do that. That's okay, but start tuning in and paying attention to your body's signals. And this is how you're going to rebuild self-trust. And so this is going to take us into step one of the methodology, which is awareness. So if you missed the last training on the self-trust blueprint, I walked you through the core components of what we use in mastering mindfulness to rebuild self-trust, which is awareness, regulation, and integration. And today, talking about how do I rebuild trust with my body's signals, we use the skill of awareness. So a lot of time we don't pay attention to what is my body telling me? What kind of sensations am I having? Am I hungry? Am I having a craving? We don't even pay attention to that. So it's like you're unaware. It's like a lack of awareness, and you can't understand what you're not aware of. So awareness is like, it's like putting glasses on and you can see clearly now. It is like turning up the brightness of watching a TV show. It's like you're turning up the color, high definition, and you can see more. So you're turning up your attention and your awareness on what is happening inside of your body. This is going to be the main skill you want to use. This is like the main core skill I have all my students really develop. The more aware you are, the more you'll feel the sensations in your body and notice what's happening when you go to grab a food choice. So we want to start building the skill of awareness, and this is how we're going to start deciphering the difference between these sensations in the body. So let's talk about hunger. Hunger is the feeling that you get in your stomach, in your body, when you actually need food. I mean, what a cool mechanism inside the body that the body can start sending you signals and sensations that's like, hey, I need fuel. And so you'll feel hunger build gradually. When you start feeling it on like a subtle level, you might feel a slight growl in your stomach. It starts to feel a little bit more empty. You want to pay attention and bring your attention, what you're focusing on, from up in your mind, and you bring it down into your stomach and you start noticing and feeling, does it feel like there's hunger there? And if that hunger gradually builds more and more and more, you might start to feel shaky. You might start to even feel a little angry or a little a little snippy at people. And so it's amazing to see how our body's physiology will shift as our fuel source starts to go low. And so that's one of the key elements that you want to pay attention to see, do I actually need food and need to eat? The earlier that you can pay attention to that signal, the better you'll be able to feel in tune with your body and say, oh, my body is telling me that it needs food. So take a minute to reflect for yourself. What are ways that your body starts to tell you when your energy is starting to drop and you're actually needing calories and food? One of the biggest downfalls that I see, it seems so obvious and it seems so simple, but this is one of the biggest downfalls that I see with a lot of people is that they get really motivated and they try to cut back how much they're eating, and they cut back way too much. They grit, maybe they skip breakfast and just have coffee, and they eat a healthy salad, and their body is constantly sending out this warning signal of we have not been fed. your body doesn't know if you're trying to get healthier or if you're going into famine. So that's when, if that alarm, the hunger alarms are so strong in your body, that's when your body's like, okay, I need to take control and cause them to overeat for protection, for safety, and survival. So the more that you can tune in and listen to that signal earlier on, the less likely you will be to lose control when your body is going into like a state of famine. I know to you, it might not seem like famine because you're just trying to get healthier, but your body doesn't know the difference. Really tune in, especially if you're the kind of person who's busy and you skip meals and you're not paying attention. This is where you want to start paying attention and tuning into your body and what it's really telling you. So that hunger is, it feels very different, right? You'll start to feel it more in your stomach. So hunger will build gradually over time if you're paying attention to the feelings and the sensations. Maybe over the course of like 3 or 4 or 5 hours, as your food is digesting and your body is using up the energy, you'll start to get more and more and more hungry. So look for those key signals. For hunger, it's going to build gradually over time. You're going to feel a growling kind of sensation in your stomach. And if you wait too long, you might start to get like a little bit shaky, a little bit tired or lightheaded. You might get a little hangry. You can feel that like blood sugar drop, like when you actually need food. So when your body is sending you that signal, that's where you want to make sure that you get some food. Ideally, you're having a good amount of protein, healthy fats, things that are really satiating to keep you feeling satisfied. So now let's talk about cravings. Cravings are completely different. Craving, you'll feel it in your body, is where I think of it as like this magnetic pull towards food. And I notice it very differently in my body. Instead of having my attention down here where I'm feeling sensations of growling in my stomach, instead my attention is up here in my head and in my mouth where I'm thinking about like flavors and tastes. And it usually comes with like different thoughts like, I should have that, or you deserve that, or I really need something. And so all of my attention is up here. And there's more of like this magnetic feeling to like, I need something and I need something sweet. And sometimes a craving can be kind of like a grazing throughout the day, but it could also be really intense. It might come on suddenly, it might hit you really intense, and you're like, I need this right now. A lot of the time, there's an emotion underneath that's driving the craving, whether it's like stress, it could even be like procrastination, or a difficult feeling or emotion that you're not wanting to feel. Because when we crave a food, it's not that we really need food. So, what would we be seeking food for? It actually gives us a feeling of pleasure. It makes us feel better. And it also helps regulate our nervous system. So, I know that we think that sugar is bad and carbs are bad, but it can actually help regulate our nervous system. If you think about like being a baby and you're stressed and you need to know that you're safe, eating food is like the one way that shows our body we're safe, we're okay. So here's the big reframe here. In order to understand the signals of your body, you need to understand that they both play important roles. Hunger isn't better than a craving. Craving is not worse than hunger. They both play valuable roles, but they play different roles. So hunger is the signal from your body. I need food, I need nourishment. Calories, it's a different message. I need to feel good because I'm struggling with something. I need to feel like my nervous system is regulated and safe, grounding. I need something that can help me during this difficult time. That's what a craving helps us seek food in order to receive pleasure or avoid a pain or create the feeling of safety. Whoa, two totally different things. So this one is a physical need. This one is more of an emotional need or something to feel good or feel better. Both of them are important needs. We don't want to suppress the cravings because the cravings are an important message. Think of how many times we try to do all these tips and tricks to avoid cravings. I remember like this is really crazy, but like I used to go through like a pack of gum a day. I was like a chain gum chewer, like a chain smoker, but with gum all day long to try to suppress my cravings. And it's no wonder why my cravings never went away. My cravings had a message for me that like I was experiencing something really hard and really challenging and difficult emotionally, or my stress was too high. And food was giving me a sense of regulating my nervous system, calming me back down, helping me feel pleasure during something that felt really uncomfortable and hard. Because I was trying to suppress that craving, it kept coming back. And so we soothe our cravings by intimately knowing them. understanding what they are trying to tell us that we're really needing. So, how does the body signal to you that it's a craving, that it feels different? Well, a lot of your attention is usually in your mind. There tends to be a fixation on like a certain flavor, like you really need a specific taste or flavor. And it could come on suddenly, like, I need something now. Sometimes it almost feels like a hypnosis, like you're being hypnotized, and like you might not want to eat that food because you maybe have health goals, but there's something in you that's stronger, that needs that pleasure, that needs that nervous system regulation. And so it has a very different sensation in the body. And when you're experiencing a craving, that's when it feels hard to stop. And because you don't understand the origin of what it's trying to tell you, then it feels like you're battling your own willpower. And it's like, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. But the stronger the craving, the more your body is trying to get your attention, that it needs something from you. And you might be trying to address it with food, but there's really something else that it's communicating to you. So, can you feel the difference in your body? How hunger and the need for food, the blood sugar drop, feels different from a craving. And those sensations are different ways that your body gets your attention that you're needing something. So we want to love all of those signals. All of them are important and they tell you something about what you're needing. I know that this is so backwards because we have been told that cravings are bad. They're the reason for our self sabotage. They're the reason why you can't trust yourself. But what if suppressing that message was the reason why you couldn't trust yourself? What if suppressing that message and that body sensation and signal is the reason why you're never hearing what you're actually needing, which is why you always feel controlled by food. You don't feel like anything ever actually works. And you think that it's an inherent flaw with you, that you have no discipline or willpower. But it's because you've been told that you need to suppress this part of you. But your cravings are actually really important guides that tell you, I need something from you. I'm trying to either avoid a pain, give myself pleasure, help myself through a difficult time, or create the feeling of safety in my body because food creates safety. Sugar regulates the nervous system. So we really want to see these signals as really valuable, and that's how we really build trust with them. Here's how you can actually put it into practice with your life. So it's actually something usable. These are the steps of what I go through to actually use the different signals in my body. The first thing you want to know is that learning the difference between am I really hungry or am I having a craving, there are different sensations in your body. So it's almost like learning a new language. If you haven't paid attention to how those different sensations feel in your body, it's going to take a little bit of practice. Give yourself time, give yourself patience. Try to let go of any ideas of like, I'm bad at this, I can't do it. It's going to take time and practice and patience. The first thing you want to do is really use a pause. Get into the habit of pausing before grabbing a food choice. Most people make food choices on autopilot where they're just impulsively grabbing something. They have no idea if they're hungry, if they're having a craving. When you do something out of impulse, you can't really feel what your body is signaling to you. So taking a pause, it's inside of that pause where you can be in choice with your food choices. When you take that pause, that's where you want to use the skill of awareness. So you turn your attention inward to yourself, and then you start feeling the different sensations. Is it hunger within my stomach? Do I have that feeling of that low blood sugar drop? Or am I having that craving where my attention is up here? I'm focused on a food. I am having all these thoughts. And you'll feel the difference inside of your body. And then you want to keep going one layer deeper. Okay, if it feels like hunger, what kind of choice do I want to make? Do I want to be a little bit intentional? And if it's a craving, I might check in with myself and say, what is it that I'm really needing? Now, there's no judgment on if you choose to get food either way, whether you're hungry or it's just a craving. Don't worry about the food. Don't stress about that. Most people are like, I gave into the craving. Don't stress about that. The eating the food is the byproduct. It's like the symptom. Don't worry about the symptom. When you start tuning in and listening to what the craving is telling you that you're needing, the symptom and the food will go away. So I know it's really hard. You probably need to be reminded a lot if you feel like you have a lot of cravings or you're making food choices that you don't want to make. I know you can be hard on yourself sometimes because it's like, why didn't I overcome that craving and why did I eat that food? But don't worry about this. The craving is just telling you, hey, I need something. So it's okay if you eat the food. Sometimes it might be like, I'm really going through a lot right now. I'm actually really overwhelmed, and this food is helping me get through that. And so when you can identify what it is that your body is telling you, maybe it is that your nervous system has been overwhelmed from working too much, or you're like really busy with babies and you're just like, gosh, I'm just feeling stressed, or there's a feeling of like loneliness and wanting the feeling of love. And food can provide that. And so we will crave food to provide that for us. And there's nothing wrong with that. And with that awareness, we might say, "Oh, I wonder if I could explore giving myself the love and the pleasure and the joy that I'm really seeking." So the cravings are really important messengers that tell us what we're really needing when we tune in and listen. So they feel just completely different. And the more that we tune in and hear them and listen to them and learn the language, the more that we build that trust. It's not about suppressing hunger. It's not about suppressing cravings. It's about listening to them. Isn't that so cool, though, that your body will tell you what it needs by sending you different sensations inside of your body? I think it's amazing. What if we looked at our bodies through this lens? Is nothing is broken, nothing is wrong. My body is always getting my attention for something, whether I actually need food or whether I'm having a craving because I need to feel good right now. Whatever it is, what if I didn't disown any part of my body, any signal or sensation, or any habit I had? What if I truly fell in love with all of the ways that my body works? What if I fell in love with my behaviors before they changed? Because I could then understand what is it that I've been trying to provide for myself. So my goal here is never to tell you how to fix yourself, but to help you really see the magic of how your body is trying to get your attention and it truly is your partner. It's just understanding how it communicates. And so I hope this helped you rebuild trust that when you are about to make a food choice, you can tune in and feel, do I need food? Am I having a craving? And what is that telling me about what I'm really needing? So I hope you found this helpful. If it was, I would love to hear what resonated with you, what landed with you. You can always share in comments. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I love to connect with people there. And if you want to keep learning, you can go to masteringmindfulness.institute. There's a free training on reclaiming your power with food that will keep going deeper into this. And in the next episode, I'm going to talk about why does it happen when we get that food hypnosis, where it's like something takes over your brain and you felt so motivated a few minutes ago, and then it was like something controlled you and caused you to sabotage or lose that self-trust. So we're going to talk about that food hypnosis in the next video. I'll see you next time.